Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another review. Today, we are going to take a look at Dune Prophecy. This is an HBO Max original series. IMDb gave this. They only gave us one episode, so their IMDb gave it a 7.4. What do you think about that rating?
It's all right. Like I think people rated it high for potential.
Yeah,
Because it's got all the good. Like it looks good. Like it
it
looks
looks
good.
good. Mm-hmm.
And in the plot intrigue and all that stuff is there. For me, it felt more like Game of Thrones than Dune. And let's just say like that the lifestyle and the political intrigue, like it felt more like that than Dune itself. But I don't know. It was fine. Like here's the thing: when I watched it, I was like, "This is fine." It
Yeah.
wasn't like, "Oh, this is trash. I hate it," or "This is the
Mhm.
best thing ever." I was like, this is fine.
I
I'll keep
mean,
watching, but I don't really
we
care."
we reviewed Dune 1 and 2, and
Mhm.
once we found out there was a series, we were super excited. We were like amped up. We were
Yeah,
geeked, like yo.
yeah,
And then I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, we need some more. We need some runway here.
yeah.
They need to really build this up because it looks
Mhm.
great. It's HBO Max. HBO is going to give you some like seriously,
Yeah,
produced
they
sort of
spend
stuff,
money.
right?
They
Yeah,
they production value is high. Like
yeah,
it looks good.
yeah. It's pretty good and whatnot, but I have some questions because again, we were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this like offline, but this is ten
Mhm.
thousand years in the past, right?
Yeah, yeah. So this is 100 years after the Butlerian Jihad, where they
Mm-hmm.
fight in the machines.
Mm-hmm.
So Terminator Judgment Day, they did that already,
Right.
and yeah, it was 100 years after that, and then I guess they're starting the Bene Gesserit. They're getting their foot down, figuring out how to do stuff, trying to get their power or whatever. I like the story. The story's interesting. I would say the issue is more implementation. Like it didn't really get good until like the kid died, and then the sister died, the Asian chick. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like, so how'd this happen? Okay, so I'm kind of interested. And is that guy a fraud? Like, what's he doing there? What's going on? And how is this going to affect the show? Because they can't get married anymore because the kid's dead. Like, what's going on here? Because that wedding was wild. I gotta say, like that.
Yeah.
They're eating a pomegranate. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's all everything about this was wild.
So here's the thing,
Mhm.
right? I'm looking at them like, okay, First of all, they should have gave us 2 episodes up front. The whole 1 episode stuff
Yeah,
is
to
like, come on,
hook you in. But like, they only
yeah,
got six, so
right.
they're like, we gotta be stingy right now.
They really have to get to it because I mean, this first episode, I was like, uh, you know. But here's the thing. Okay, so this is
Mhm.
again, these are like little things that I, sort of realize, and I'm like, I don't know about that. So this is 10,000 years in the past. So old girl
Mhm.
goes out before she marries a 10-year-old, right?
Yeah,
She,
like
she
yeah.
goes out with old boy to go to the city to go clubbing. This is 10,000 years in the past. So they go to a
Mhm.
club. There's, techno music is popping. There's a DJ. A DJ is mixing songs. This is 10,000
Yeah,
years in the past. And we have
yeah.
clubs and club music and club
Mhm.
drugs because they're doing club drugs,
Yeah, they're doing drugs. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm like,
the
okay,
spice
see,
drugs. I
right.
don't. It didn't feel right. I
Yeah.
don't. This is the thing. I don't know. I'm a casual Dune fan.
Hmm.
Like I'm not a super Dune fan. I'm a casual. I read the book. I've read the first book, and I read parts of a couple other books. I know the summary. I have an idea what's going to happen from the books. All right, but this didn't feel like Dune in some parts. In some parts, it did feel like Dune, and like I guess it because it's a prequel. I guess that makes sense. Like, oh, perfect example is the books. We're far enough in the future there wouldn't be any books,
Yeah.
but there was write down a piece of paper, and they got like really. I was like, that's kind of weird, but all right. Once you get the spaceships, books are done. Like you're done with
Yeah.
books. Like you're
So
you're
the way old boy killed the little boy, the little prince, right? I mean,
that was wild.
he basically burned him from the inside. He set his
Yeah.
body on fire from the inside. So boy was like, and dude, and he did that to the woman too, right? To one of the sisters. Dude,
Yeah.
the screams were so real. They were screaming like they were actually burning inside. I was like, okay, that's really good acting right there, you know?
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was
wow.
intense. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It got interesting when we took this turn and people stopped dropping like flies. Then it was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I shouldn't have to have murder for me to be interested in your TV show
Yeah.
or your
Hmm.
book or your movie. Like, it should be just this is interesting because of what is going on. But like, it was kind of bland, and I
Hmm.
hope that
Hmm.
the series picks up and becomes more interesting because I found it a little boring,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it was just like, all right, fine, like, because you don't have the technology stuff, but you should have technology because you're in the future still,
Right.
like you're way in the future still.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I I don't know. Like I get why the current Dune series is in, future past type things. I get that. But while these guys are closer to us, they should be more futuristic type thing, technology. I I don't know. Maybe I'm riffing here. I don't know where my mind's going, but like I just I just was like, man, this is
Yeah.
fine.
Again, I was super excited for this, and I'm just like, okay. So
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, this was sort of like underwhelming. It was just like, okay,
Hmm.
what's going on here? And here's the thing:
Hmm.
this is 6 episodes. They have 5 episodes to land this plane. And here's the other thing, right? I cannot stand a director. And we said this
Hmm.
like when we were watching Ahsoka, right? And
Hmm.
they were doing the stuff like, she was on a motorcycle and she like slid under a plane or whatever, and then they had the rock music, and I'm just like, when you're dealing with stuff so far in the future,
Hmm.
we it's no need to listen to today's music in this, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
agree.
like that's
I
so
agree.
corny to me, for a director, for producer to
Mhm.
like, say, hey, you know what, we're going to put today's music into this sci-fi thriller. You heard no music like this in Dune 1 and 2,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's kind of
You know,
it's stylized,
yeah,
I guess.
ethereal.
That
It
makes
was
sense.
like ethereal music. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Mhm.
that's sort of stuff. When I hear that, when I hear music, today's music in these super duper high end sci-fi films that's in the future or in the very far past, I'm like, that's corny. That's corny to me.
Mhm.
So now I'm like, this show has to do so much better for me to actually start, to really get into it, because that was just like a red mark for me. I was just like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. It kind of takes you out of the experience. I
yeah,
think that's
it's just
what
like,
it
I
is. I
mean,
don't
come
know.
on. I'm like, yo, I want to DJ in this club. This club looked pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think I got
yeah,
the skill set to DJ in this joint with my deep house music, but it's like, hey,
Mhm.
they're doing like they're club kids. They're going to clubs, they're doing club drugs, they listen
There
to
ain't
club
no
music.
way
Yeah.
that this king who's running the universe would allow his daughter to get out the house with his brother, just go partying. There's no way there'd be no security down there,
Yeah,
and they
come
would
on.
empty out or bring the party to them and be like everyone's on high security. Like none of that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
Especially because she's about to get, or she just got married. That don't make no sense.
yeah.
Where you going, bro?
and
Where
and
you
she
going?
basically said, she was like, listen, this is going to preserve the legacy, the dynasty.
Yeah,
Yes,
everybody's
he's
resting their things on their
right
hopes and dreams on these two people.
on this adult woman who's going to marry a 10-year-old boy. You see, now again, like you said,
Mhm.
right, offline. Listen, like
Mhm.
back in like, the
I
monarchy,
mean, they did it.
royalty,
I mean, we did. We can't
they were
judge, right?
dating, they
Some
were
judgment
marrying
free
their
zone.
cousins, their uncles, all that sort of
They're
stuff,
doing
right?
all of that. They're
People were
doing all
coming
that.
out with like one eye, cyclops, the whole nine, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
again, with this here, it's just like, hey, did we need the dance music? No, this is Dune.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
this is blasphemy. It's almost like if you heard dance music in
Mhm.
Foundation, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I'd be like, "Yo, what the hell is this? Like, what are
I'm
we doing
like,
here?"
am I even into it anymore? You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
yeah, see, that's it's unfortunate. And here's the other thing, right? Before we wrap this up,
Mhm. Yeah.
This is 6 episodes. The first one kind of didn't do anything yet.
Yeah.
And so we have 5 episodes left. And I'm just like, whoa, what is going on here? I mean, like,
They got a lot of things to fix right now. Like right
dude,
now.
like House of Dragons, what is it? The House of Dragons. What was the other one? House of Dragons
The
and what else?
Game of
Game of
Thrones,
Thrones. Okay.
House of Dragon.
Dude, when they
Yeah.
came out, they were like, what, 10, 12 episodes?
Bro, the first House of Dragon and the first Game of Thrones episodes, everybody who watched that was like, "Oh, I'm in. I'm all in on this. I'm getting tattoos and everything after this. There's no way. There is no way."
Yeah,
you read the book. You read the book. The book is like, "Oh snap! I gotta finish this tonight."
I didn't feel that way with Dune. I didn't feel that way with Dune.
Yeah. Like this show, it was just like, this is fine. It's okay. I didn't have that emotional connection that I have with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is that, I think that's the factor more than anything else. It's not that's the problem with doing a show like this, especially that's connected to this legacy. You have a lot to make sure that you're invested in this thing. And you have to come correct. You got intrigue, suspense, action. You need stuff. You need something. And this show has zero action because it's about a coven of witches, basically. And so it's political intrigue. So you can't do a car chase and explosions here. Your story better be spectacular.
Yeah.
And this story was meh. And then the other problem is they're introducing too many characters too fast and not making them worthy. I don't know anybody's name.
No.
I think Naz, Wine Naz or something like that. I don't know anybody's name.
I know
like the Reverend Mother's a hard Conan. That's it.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I got that.
That's it.
But everybody else, I was like, I don't care to know your name. It's
don't know their names. I don't know the guy who's walking around with a trench coat on who burned like the 2 people. What's his name?
No.
Is it Dylan?
This is the problem. This is poor writing. Good writing is like, oh, I'm gonna introduce this character to you. Like we're talking about Citadel later, but like Citadel, I was like, oh, who's that? I wonder who that is. What happened here? Like I was interested.
Right.
This thing here, I was like, oh, there's some random people. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let me take a nap before this thing is done. Like it was bland, and because it's political intrigue, it kind of just, it was meh. And this, I can't. This is the worst fear you could have for a show like this that needs you to be invested in it, is to be meh.
But you know what? 2 things, and then we're gonna wrap this up. One, I didn't see it as political intrigue, dude. I mean, I've watched a lot of politically, like political intrigue sort of stuff, and I mean, they get going. Here's the other thing too, right?
Yeah.
So I think the director, the showrunner, all those people, right? One, they sort of copped out, and 2, they're taking the viewership of Dune 1 and 2 for granted, and I'll tell you how. Okay, Dune, we have a series that's coming out on Max. That first episode should be fire, start to end, fire, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't fire. It wasn't even like smoke. You know what I'm saying? It was just someone blowing on some twitches, like trying to start a fire, trying to like create smoke. It's not there yet. And they have 5 episodes to land this plane. I don't know. So moving forward, how are we going to review
confident.
this?
I'll put it like that.
So do you want to
100%?
Do you want to just like review, like do another review when the season's over, or what?
Yeah, we probably, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now, man.
Yeah.
I for real, like I'm gonna be 100% in Silo. I'm 1,000% in Silo.
I'm all in Silo.
Take my time.
Mm-hmm.
There's some movies and stuff coming out. I'm kind of disappointed because I like Dune. I really like. I've watched the movies a bunch of times. I've read the book. I like Dune. This is just kind of like, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm not enthused.
So
we'll watch it again. I'm gonna watch it. Like
definitely. I'm gonna watch it. I mean, if anything interesting,
if the second episode's fire, we may have to revisit this.
Right. Yeah.
I don't. It was just.
Yeah. We'll like right now. We're gonna give you a review. Like once the season is over. If anything is interesting, we'll come back and do a review. So
yeah, we'll come back.
Keo, what are you going to rate Dune Prophecy season number 1, episode number 1?
Okay. This is 2 reviews, right? The review for the actual episode
Mm-hmm.
is like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it a 7 for potential. Their story is rich. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do, and you can tell your own thing because it's 10,000 years in the past. So you have a lot of reign to do whatever you want, as long as you kind of get the gist of what's going on in the books and the movie. That's fine. 'Cause you can change stuff. The movies are changed from the books anyway. Like everything's a little bit different, and I'm okay with that as long as you keep the intention there. So the actual show was boring as hell. I did not like it. Right?
Yeah.
Just blah. But I'm hoping that it starts to tighten up and we get better on down the line. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll give it 2 ratings as well. I'm going to give the show itself a 6. And I'm also going to give the potential a 6 as well. And the reason why I'm giving it a 6 is because, again, like, there's already muscle memory when it comes to Dune in terms of viewership. People, we were dying for Dune the series, right?
Yeah,
And then they give us this
during the pandemic. We were locked down when all this stuff happened.
Then they give us this club music, club kids, club drugs, like, I mean, an adult woman marrying a 10-year-old boy, and then the boy is like being burned. That was a little hard to watch, to be honest with you, because the boys, I mean, the way he was screaming, he sound like a boy who was really in need. You know what I'm saying?
It was
and
wild.
I'm just, yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I can see the adult woman, but the boy wasn't doing anything. So I'm just like, so I don't know. They have 5 episodes to land this plane, and I don't know if they can. So we will see.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.